In our previous video on the interesting case of Isidor Philipp, the famous pianist who even has an indirect line through Georg Matthias with Frédéric Chopin, we've seen that his 1891 edition of Clementes Gradus ad Parnassum, in that edition he demanded playing speeds of 14 notes a second. Page long, something that safely can be described as simply impossible. If you've missed the first video in this series of 4, click on the I icon here or use the link in the description box, as that video gives you some information you might want to know first. In the second video we'll be looking on Philipp's version of Chopin's famous C major etude. We will reflect on the severe requirements he has for us pianists. It seems as if he regarded the original version by Chopin, which lots of pianists today struggle with if ever reach the metronome education of Chopin at all, that piece simply was too easy in Philipp's eyes. Philipp puts this famous etude, for which indeed exist lots and lots of even historical stories on how extremely difficult it is, to a complete new level that makes the Chopin version look as a piece of only moderate difficulty. He connects this to a particular way of practicing which today became rather uncommon, but possibly not only relevant to reconstruct from an historical perspective, but moreover extremely useful still for us. To start with the latter, one thing we've noticed in the Philipp's method of piano playing and practicing is the fact that he insisted on practicing slow, in some cases extremely slow. As a matter of fact, while preparing these episodes on Isidor Philipp, Lorenz Guardian, whom I'm sharing the passion for tempo research with, called me, saying that even he started to doubt seeing the actual slowest practicing speeds when double beat was to be applied. And indeed, in some cases, notes are held even longer than 1 second to start practicing with. In a rare case, even more, if we indeed think of Philipp's metronome numbers to be double beat. But the flip side of the story is that the final tempi Isidor Philipp demands from us is so high that one at least would have expected one word on the extremity of what he prescribes. It seemed all to be perfectly normal, and moreover, there is not a single line of his contemporaries on the absurdity of these metronome numbers. We will see in the next episode that playing speeds of even 23 notes a second in some cases were normal for him. That average is 1,380 notes per minute. Reflecting on those slow practicing speeds, by the way, a story popped in my mind that I suddenly connected to this way of practicing. I remembered having read somewhere a long time ago a description of a practicing session of Paderewski, 1 hour before a concert he had to play. I don't remember who wrote it down and where I found it. So if you know by accident where that story comes from, please leave it in the comments below, where people and also I can find it. Anyhow, Paderewski practiced Chopin's famous Etude in C major, Opus 10 number 1, the one we're talking about. According to that source, he apparently played so incredibly slow, so while practicing, that each 16th note took him about 1 second of time. And if my memory serves me well, he lifted his fingers far from the piano keys, a practice that is still common today in some piano schools and extremely useful and effective as well. It wouldn't surprise me if this way of practicing was very close to the tradition as taught by Philipp. Again, share more info if you have. Now, interestingly, this Chopin C major etude is given by Philipp in one of his publications in a slightly modified way. And the tempo here is slightly slower, yes. But before you start shouting and commenting, you see it's slower. It's slower than Chopin's original 176, yes. But keep in mind you'll be playing the famous etude not in C major, but in C sharp major. And also, almost standard in Philipp's philosophy, with the left hand as well. So imagine that, playing the Chopin etude in C sharp major in your left hand. So not exactly easier, I would say. Mark also Chopin's original metronome mark between brackets, a tempo Philipp suggests if you'd play the piece simply as written. Now, in this particular case, one starts practicing here with the 16th note in double beat in an average speed of 1.3 notes per second. Remarkably similar to what apparently Paderewski took as practicing speed, even right before a concert. And on top of the C-sharp major mutation, Philipp provides all kinds of rhythmical variations. He does that often, no exception here. But simply try these tempi and you'll see for yourself that they are impossible in these rhythmical variations and even completely useless in a single beat interpretation. I believe it's safe to say that there is no discussion about this. The only escape from that conclusion would be the statement that those tempi indications were not meant to be reached. But that, as I have stated several times now, and I will repeat it again, is not the case. The unique factor of Isidor Philipp is that he repeatedly writes his metronome numbers that they are actual and accurate tempo indications. And by the way, to make this statement complete, in the variations for this Chopin etude, Philipp gives an alternative where he adds some more coal to the fire. Now suddenly we are expected to play 6 notes per beat instead of 4. Same allegro tempo, resulting in an incredibly fast 16 notes a second. Well, even considering this tempo to be double beat, which I believe it is, this results in 8 notes a second, a tempo that for most of us would already be incredibly challenging. But about 16 notes a second, one can safely say nobody ever is or will be able to play. Never, not now, not back then, not in the future. Maybe a Kryptonian someday will, but not someone who is born out of earthly parents. And if you think 16 notes a second is insane, just click on the thumbnail over here to discover playing speeds up to 23 notes a second. Yet again with the clear statement of being realistic tempi. If you want to go back to the first video of the series, just click on the thumbnail below. And as for now, thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button and we'll see each other soon again.